Artisans and time jackers, this is internet personality Vangelus, and the end of the Legacy trilogy heralded the age of the Primes, with Transformers Generations Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron Universe Vector Prime, a toy whose preview period was dominated by discourse about the fact that he is also a partial built off of Transformers Generations Legacy Voyager class G2 Universe G-Axis, a toy that I really enjoyed when it first arrived.
This video has been sponsored in part by TransformersTCG.org. Fan continuation with fresh design and physical card availability. Now in Wave 9 beta testing. Vector Prime, From Creation to Apocalypse. Featuring human-born artwork by Dan Canna and Mila Zan. An Autobot leader centerpiece who holds your actions in temporal stasis in alt mode, before unleashing them when attacking while armed with a weapon in bot mode. Strategize your time manipulation to maximize the punishment of those who stand against the eternal will of justice. Playing the cards supports the channel. Supporting the channel feeds the machine.
Let's get the ugly noise behind us. This figure is built off of G-Axis and reuses his legs and arms, along with the folding outer frame parts of his chest. Obviously, this was a non-starter for some folks, and I appreciate that. But the parts being reused are from a toy I really like, and even the ramshackle of the wiring on the legs still fits the vibe of a rickety old clockwork time traveler for me, so I would be lying if I said I had to grit my teeth at all when I picked up this piece. I like getting a reuse of a Transformer I really enjoy. What are you gonna do, narc on me? Anyway, as much as I dig the overall delivery on Vector Prime, his color palette especially, it is visually dissonant just how blocky his inherited parts are, while most of the new stuff has curvature. Where contrast is welcome in his colors, the burgundy especially, it is a test for some folks when it comes to his silhouette. I just headcanon this as a Vector Prime who manifested on Legacy World by budding a fresh body off of G-Axis to inhabit in an act of aggressive body horror. And hey, unlike the original, the entire nose cone of the alt mode is just gone in robot mode. That said, though I am over their presence, whatever one's take may be, it is an easy critique to point out the G-Axis wing hinge vestiges left behind by the reuse of these components unmodified. The paintwork primarily features delightful metallics in both gold and blue, paired with a gorgeous glittery translucent blue plastic on Vector Prime's cape-like wing parts. This plastic is also used on the two accessory pieces, a tiny and unpainted version of his signature force chip, and the Rhisling sword that he totally knows how to use properly regardless of what animation may have otherwise implied. The sword can fit in his hand, obviously, it would be weird if it couldn't, and can also store on his back. Its handle can also wiggle, mostly due to its construction. The force chip can tab onto Vector Prime's chest, as it has always been wont to do, but it can also peg onto the Rhisling to upgrade it for some kind of Hisatsu attack. Or it can
Force chip ignition
into a slot on Vector Prime's back. None of this activates anything because it is the 2020s and Generations Transformers no longer do such things, but it's cute to manipulate regardless. Speaking of manipulation, you can pop off the wing parts and peg them onto Vector Prime's forearms, which looks pretty dang cool and offers a welcome touch of
Evo Fusion!
I know he's a retool, partial, etc. of Legacy G-Axis, but I'm still going to go over the articulation of this dude because there are a bunch of just, bits that work different outside of the main limbs, and we all have more articulation in our bodies than our main limbs. I mean, usually. Do you have organic ab crunch? Vector Prime's got a ball socket head with a respectable, if slightly limited amount of wiggle. He can't go hog wild emoting, unfortunately, but he still can quizzically tilt, which is enough for my purposes. Despite his shoulder pads, he has this full shoulder range. He still has the internal up and down, which means that if you've raised his arm out like this, you're actually having to undo a transformation joint to get it to come outwards from there, but that's fine. There's a bicep swivel, same old hinge elbow, same old wrist swivel, same old delightful modern Voyager knuckle joint. The waist still turns as well. The cape back here, this is kind of cool. Although I wish that it locked a bit better on mine. There's a slanted tab here that goes into a divot on the inside of this armature, and on one of them it holds pretty well. On this one, not so much. I need to thicken that thing up, I think. But his cape, his wings, etc. have got, you know, that joint, and then if you lock it, that joint, and this swivel, and this swivel, and I think that's kind of cool. It means that they can assume various positions. You can also, like, have them come up here as, like, you know, weird over-the-shoulder pincer things. It's not too bad. Like, for something that was semi-tacked on, I think it still gives, with this level of minor articulation, the appearance of a cape when you really want it to. The legs still got the a version of the classic G-axis diaper, and everything works happily there. And everything else down here, like, you've seen all this before. You all love to talk at length on social media about these things several years ago. I bet none of you remember talking about that anymore. But articulation-wise, I'm a fan of G-axis, therefore I'm a fan of Vector Prime. Articulation-wise, I think he does enough. I think that I can get lots of fun poses out of him. He can't point his sword, unfortunately, but he can swing his sword. Yeah, there, you see, just in case someone's like, prove it! There you go, he's swinging his sword a whole bunch. And I dig it. There are, of course, many similarities to the Legacy G-axis transformation when converting Legacy United Vector Prime. I generally like that transformation, so I generally enjoy this one too. The highlight is the flip-around reveal of the nose cone from its hiding spot on the other side of Vector Prime's chest, but that's not to diminish a fully functional process that I still find enjoyable to move through. The legs still do their funky, slightly collision-inducing motions with solid locking points at the end, and the arms still make for a janky yet satisfying underbelly. Those vestigial leg lumps from the G-axis wing hinge detritus do serve some function here, as they remain a locking point for alt-mode wing assemblies, this time the clockwork armatures that bear Vector's translucent space-time gliders. This is a stubbier, chunkier version of the gorgeous cogwork craft we saw in Galaxy Force, but I don't think it's outright terrible. And as an enjoyer of the Legacy G-axis nose-coned space shape alt mode, I think this one is actually a bit of an improvement. The wider, flatter nose makes the overall shape flow a bit better, and Vector Prime's gear armature translucent triangles are a bit less goofy looking alongside this chunky chassis than G-axis's bat wings. There is a little spot for the original Vector Prime's Minicon PAL safeguard to plug into place. This figure obviously didn't come with a new or old safeguard, and I haven't got one handy, but, you know, someday I might. Just use your imagination. Vector's wings can also pivot and swivel in a limited fashion, which adds some extra imagination-driven play value. The Rhisling sword can 5mm its way onto any open port, and the handle hinge can offer an option if you prefer something to jut downwards rather than rearwards. The Cyberforce Planet Key chip has a new tabbing point atop the alt mode, and lays so cleanly along the surface of the spaceship that you may need to use something like an included sword accessory to lever it back off. Legacy United Vector Prime answered my hope for some kind of Legacy G-axis reuse, and I enjoy how he turned out. He's no strict replacement for the 2005 classic, but I like the shakeup, and I think the alt-mode wing proportions and lack of bot-mode backpack are both improvements worth crediting. It goes without saying that there are more than one options out there for adding on to this figure, which is often internal fandom code speak for covering the wires on the legs, but after having this guy for a while, I just haven't been in a rush to buy more parts for him. I'm satisfied enough, at least as of the time of this recording. I shrug. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and the gears of my temporal power are consistently greased by the grace of my Patreon patrons, YouTuber members, and coffee baristas. Now, if I could just get this mastery of time to do anything other than move forward at a steady, even pace.